Yeah, I get a bottle of water if you got some. Or anything, water, glass, it don't make cup.
Yeah, we got one of those nice little water machines.
Hey, look here. Your partner in the street, I just tried to call his ass. I don't know where he's at, but he canceled his, you got just a cup of water or something?
Diet Coke or
Anything wet. Man, talking too damn much. That sucker canceled out, I understand, canceled out of his ball game last night, and he didn't show up today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just tried to call him to see where he was at. That'll be where. That'll work. This thing turned down.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah,
Well, sir, I appreciate, after we talked yesterday, I appreciate it, you reaching out to us and
Well,
asking to talk to us again.
I will tell you this. I will
calling
tell you
here
this.
today.
I think Corporal Mackey, I told him, I said, I knew I was going to tell you, but I wanted to do it once I made a few conversations. And then whether, and like I told y'all yesterday, I know enough about the game, whatever, and whatever it is, but I told y'all at the end of the day, there's only a couple people I'm going to jail for not holding with the information, and that's probably my mother and my wife. and then that's skipping me. But when I told y'all yesterday about my friends and being on both sides, it really ain't about my friends, and because you know what, truly, if it's my friend and they don't believe I'm doing the right thing, it's my family. I think y'all told me, y'all heard me say yesterday, we had a big breakup in our church. My family's been in that Baptist church for over 60 years, and we had a really, really bad breakup, including my two sisters who left, and my wife who would not go as long as he was there to preacher, and now the preacher resigned, and now she started coming back. But my sisters and all, now they're all happy where they're at Still Coke. But that being said, and the whole time I was talking to you, I kept thinking about both of my sisters, one in particular who really hangs out with the Stanhopes and some of their friends. We used to hang out with them a little bit on Friday nights, but my life is bigger than just going to do the same thing every Friday night, whatever. But I knew the implications that or what's going to happen, but I wanted to make sure, because I didn't know where y'all was going to take this yesterday afternoon. I didn't know if y'all was, I knew enough about, I guess, investigative work, but I didn't know if it was enough or if y'all had learned something or did something before. I didn't know, in other words, if I gave up the name last night, y'all was going straight to his house. And before I told y'all the name, and when I come home and talk to my wife about it, she said, why didn't you tell him then? I said, because I wanted to talk to Gay. That's my middle sister. She's the one that's kind of close with that friends. They all go to church together now. They're all, matter of fact, my sister and my brother-in-law go by and pick up him on Sundays to go to church way over on Silk Oak Baptist, over off here on 17, because his wife works for the hospital that's working on Sundays. So they swing by and pick him up. So that's the closest in nature. And the whole time I was thinking, it wasn't that I knew I was going to do the right thing, because I had already talked to Mr. Claxton, and I was saying that I'm not going to lie. And it was not the fact that I wasn't holding out or whatever. It's just the whole time in that conversation was, I want to make sure my sister and them understand what's going on. Because they really, I don't think that they know the implications of it. And I don't, well, I take this back. I don't know. Me and her has not talked about if her husband, say, saw the picture. I don't know if he showed it to my brother-in-law or that little crowd or not. But I'm going to protect my family. My city is second nature. I tell my council people all the time, when you run for a part, when you run in politics, or it's your family first, your job second, and your city third. And my family is very close to me. My mother is 80 years old, and I don't want to run her through this. She's a sickly lady right now, and I just wanted to make sure. No, that's why I asked you for your card, because I knew once I got home Monday morning I was going to call you. Now, fast forward that. Libby calls Claxton, and I trust all of them. I tell people all the time, I surround myself with people I trust. Whether it's the ballpark, or Georgia Pacific, or City Hall. You lose my trust, or if I lose your trust in you, then might better look for somewhere else to go, 'cause I ain't going. It's a hard way to get it back. But me and my wife got on and we was talking about it, and she says, of course y'all know my name was Pig. And she says, Pig, why didn't you tell him then? I said, Kathy, I wanted to talk to Gay or my, I want to make sure everybody else squared. Because then again, like I said, I prefaced this by early on, I didn't know what y'all was going to do with it if I'd have told y'all right then. I didn't want them to be shell-shocked before I could get to her. Now my older sister, I'm going to let Gay handle her, but I think you told me you're going to wait to talk to them until Tuesday, probably somewhere along there, and I'll never let that out. I give you my word of honor. They will no one will ever know when you're planning on going to talk to them. My older sister, politically, she supports me 110. She busts her ass for me, to the point she put something on the internet that my middle sister Gay called and said, you need to call Patty back and tell Patty to take it off Facebook, because when this first come down, when people were guessing and thinking that I had something to do with it, Patty got on there and was really blasting some people. So I told Patty to go in there and whatever you said, take it off. I'll handle it. I'm a big person. At the end of the day, I told that's in the whole. But then when Claxton calls me and says, you need to talk to Matt. You've got to tell him right now. Don't wait till Monday. I said, for what? He said, well, Billy Freeman called Matt and explained the consequence. So I called Matt. I've called Matt. I trust in Matt. Been knowing Matt for all these years. And Matt says, he says, Mayor, you've been through thick and thin. He says, you don't need to wait. You don't need to wait. I said, all right, tell me why I don't need to wait. And he told me that if it did got to be an element where it goes farther in the investigation, that I could be guilty of holding evidence. I said, Matt, I wasn't going to withhold evidence. He said, Mayor, I get it. My problem is, Miss Jordan, y'all talk to, Miriam, I get called Mr. Goodhart too many times. Because I try to help too many people. I try to give everybody that second and third chance. So at the end of the day, it wasn't about, I just want to make sure it's perfectly clear before I give you my statement, is I didn't want nothing against y'all. I've got to look out for my family.
We understand that. But, so, we've got some specific questions to ask.
Yeah. And I'm kind of at a disadvantage because I don't know what the conversation was with you two last night, so kind of need to start from the beginning with the conversation you two had last night, so I'm kind of...
Pretty much that's what it was. That's where it was. I called him. Matt says, you need to call him now. I called you the first time. I got his voicemail. I left him a message. Asked him to call me back. Matt says, I can get him over there. I said, well, Matt, I'm already halfway to Effingham County. I said, he told me, that I could call him. I was going to call him. And I said, we had a great conversation between both of them. I said, I'm good. He said, Matt, he said, Mayor, he said, that ball game can wait. I said, look, I'm going to get a hold of him. I promise you, before I go on that football field, I will talk to him. Or we'll have it. Hopefully I'll talk to him. I said, I actually told him, I said, the man's got a life too. He might be off at 5 o'clock. Might have to go out with his wife or something, But anyway, I appreciate you calling me back. So he called me and I told him exactly what I just told y'all to him. I think pretty much reiterated the fact is that I was going to wait till Monday. I want to talk to my sister. I'm going to see my sister this afternoon. I will pull her off to the side and now Matt tells me I shouldn't even talk to Gay. So that's where I'm going to ask y'all advice. I'm going to tell you who sent me that picture today.
Okay.
Should I, my older sister, I'm not going to tell her. My sister Patty will go to bat for me, and if she was to go to church Sunday morning, or if y'all was to go see Mr. Stanhope today, and then they start running my name through the mud, my sister Patty's going to take up for me at that Baptist church. My sister Gay, my middle sister, she is more down to earth. She works for an attorney. She works for Sherriff Mortality, so she knows the legal aspects of everything. She would not say a word when I ask her to, but I'm still asking y'all for it. Do y'all think I shouldn't even talk to her? And I will do whatever y'all say. Whatever y'all think.
My thing is this: we really can't tell you what to do.
Look, I'm searching for advice. You're right. Off the record or whatever you want to call it.
He can't call it off the record. Can't call the record.
I know. Exactly.
I have a belief that the least amount of drama in anybody's life is a good thing. So whatever is going to cause the least amount of drama for you, for your sisters, and for everyone
And my
at this
mother.
point, your mother would probably be the best. You know what that is.
Yep.
So
That's why I
I'm
wouldn't
not
let the
saying
family know.
saying do talk to, don't talk to. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whatever would cause the least amount of drama.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my opinion.
Right, right.
As far as the interviews go, he knows more the ins and outs of that than I do because he's been involved with it longer.
Mm-hmm.
But my opinion would be what will cause the least amount of drama right now.
I don't want to bust up your investigation, because I will tell you this, and I will tell you now, and I will tell you on tape again. But just before we do that, I'll tell you, still not positively, and this is the God honest truth, and I would swear to this in the court of law, I'm not positively sure Mr. Stanhope took the picture. If I have, do I have a reasonable belief he did? I've worked that scenario through my mind. Like y'all asked me, did I know exactly when it was? I told y'all yesterday it was sometime before, it was summer or late fall last year, I would think. Somewhere along the line, I knew it was a long time ago, to the point that I don't quite remember. I know it was taken inside that training room. I'm positive of that. I will tell you on tape that the picture was sent to me from Mr. Stanhope.
When did he send it to you?
I am not sure. And that's the
Was it before the incident hit the press or anything like that, or was posted on Facebook?
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, I told y'all yesterday. It was like last summer, fall. I got rid of it. Like I told you when it first came to me, and it had to been that way because see he's off council now. It had to be in before January for sure, because he's not allowed in the room anymore. Well, technically he's not. If it happened during executive session, you know.
He's not in there.
Yeah. Now training, even I know without a doubt. I ain't even seen him but about 2 or 3 times since January, and he lives right there on Crossgate. I just don't, since we don't go to church together anymore, I don't mingle with him. So it happened. It was for a fact. It was before Christmas. It was before, because see when he decided not to run for council in November, he kind of started falling out. He missed a couple of council meetings. I don't know. And then when I understand that, and I'd already heard this, Miss Johnson has said that about she knew it was sometime whenever her daughter was going on a cruise or whatever. So I'm assuming late summer or the fall. I even last night I thought about it, and I even talked to Mr. Claxton, and Mr. Claxton, we cannot pin it down.
So So when the picture came to you, when y'all were at the bar, there were 3 of you.
I think that. I think it was after, and if it was that's the case, I am not quite for certain there. Me and Mr. Claxton, I was even talking. I said, let's beat our heads. I said, 'cause I already told him. I told Mr. Claxton. I said, 'cause I already told them that I'm not. This is even before Matt called me. This is before I even talked to y'all. I said, look here. At the end of the day, I ain't getting in no trouble, and I'm talking about it.
We got that, Mary.
I get all that, but here, I don't know. I cannot positively.
Okay, stop. Think about this right here. Okay, you said you remember getting a photo.
Yeah. And it's so way back, I'm not quite sure.
Have you shown anybody else?
Oh hell
photo?
no! Except my wife, and I showed my wife. I said, look, well, he sent to me, and my wife to this day. She says, I have no use for him. And you talking about, this is a person who is not a lifelong friend, but he's older than me. He was married before, lived in Garden City. His wife died. He married a childhood friend of mine. And then he was a Methodist, come to the Baptist church. So they've been married 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years, I don't know. So he's been a friend of ours, my wife's, in that setting. We all go to church together. We did things together. So it pissed my wife off enough.
So let me ask you something. Was the picture? How many people have seen the picture that
I
you
have
know?
no idea. I cannot. That honestly, I could. I'm not sure. Me and Mr. Claxton again talked, and I'm thinking, how many people do you know that might have seen it? And he says, Philip, the same way with me. In his realm of circles, Did he send it? Did he show it to some of his friends? I could not swear to that. I'm not sure.
Because
I don't hang with them.
here's the scenario you threw out yesterday. We're sitting in your office talking,
Yep.
and you said, if the three of us are at a bar,
Yep.
and someone sends you, celebrities, something, whatever
Yep,
you said,
yep.
.com,
Yep.
upskirt photo, and
Yep.
everyone kind of gets a giggle out of it, ha ha ha. Then it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of gross and kind of sad, but ha ha ha.
And then you
type
cut all
thing.
the, and then you go
Right.
and keep going.
So, my thought is, when you got it, you were with some friends,
Mhm.
and it was one of those things when you saw it, you're like, holy cow, and showed it to them, or it came as a group text.
Yeah.
And other people you were with got it at the same time you did.
And when that, I am not, again, I tried to bring it back to my mind, and I will tell you this, that normally if we do go out, because we'll go after council meeting a lot of times, and we'll go get a beer and get something to eat, and most of the time it's at Applebee's, because it's right around the corner from Garden City. It's not always, sometimes we'll go other places. But here lately, it's most of the time Applebee's. And usually the people who go, is maybe one of my attorneys. It's a hit and miss who goes. So you can't, it could be any number of 5 or 6 people will ask, hey, you going to get a beer or whatever. I don't remember if it was sent to me right after council and I seen it then, or did I see it later on that night at my home?
But you do remember.
I remember that part of seeing it when it was sent to me, and I saw it. And let me preface this by telling you this, and I'm not hiding nothing from you about him, because let me tell you, Mr. Stanhope, and I'm sure you're all aware of, he did whether he's getting them back for what he did. Remember they was doing the ice bucket challenge?
Mm-hmm.
He did something that I really slapped him on the wrist for. As mayor of the city, and him being a councilman, I called him and I talked to him. He did something. He went on city business to a class down in Valdosta. I don't know if y'all even heard this or see this. I don't mind sharing it with you. He took a picture of him being in the shower. I think I remember a black bra type thing with red, or it could be the other way around. Black and red. He's a big bulldog guy, so he had black and red. He's in his shower. To me, it's not vulgar, but he was on city business and doing that. Some people thought it was very bad taste. Some of his people who was not on his side politically, and they got him pretty good. And I had no choice but to tell him. I said, Ernie, why did you do that? Why did you? And he just laughs it off. And I said, well, let me tell you. I just want to let you know, as the mayor of the city, I thought that was kind of in poor taste. Now, he called hell in the Baptist church for that too now. And that was
but what does that have to do with
I'm
the
just telling you,
picture?
going forward, that his mindset is.
See, we're focusing now on the picture.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the evidence about what's going on with the picture. Everything else.
I'm just trying to give you a picture of the mindset of him. It's not unusual for him to send.
Oh, we got a mindset of him. You don't have to worry about that. We have an actual very good picture of mindset of him.
So that being said, when he sent, I guess what I was leaning to is when he sends me things, and when I was in their quote group, they used to be a 10 or 15 people, not politically, just church people, which just they would send off the cuff stuff. Nothing never like that, because some women would see it, but it would be still some. I wouldn't. Matter of fact, my wife asked him to take her off of that group text messaging because she got tired of seeing it. So that being said,
so did he? Let me ask him. Did he put that on the group? Was it on that group text?
Again, I am not, but I would almost be positively sure. I don't think he's that sick because some women would have seen that. I don't think he's that sick to do that. Now, who else would have seen that?
Now, I'm definitely thinking from that scenario you threw out yesterday in your office that you received that photograph when you were sitting with some other folks.
I could have probably if it happened that night.
I'm definitely thinking
Sure.
of that scenario you thought yesterday.
If it
you
happened,
you were
happened,
sitting with some other folks,
yeah.
you received it.
yeah. If it happened at that council meeting, and it happened in executive session, normally under normal circumstances, the normal rule of thumb is we come back out, we close council meeting. Usually somebody will say, okay, hey, you going to get a beer? You going to get a beer? And that's what we said. Now we're going to eat. No, that's just bad. Are you going to get a beer? So, and then it's a hit and miss who comes. And if we go down there and
So who do you generally go down there with? And normally when I know you said sometimes,
hit and miss,
but there's
Yeah,
generally
oh
generally
yeah,
there's a general average of
my city attorney sometimes go down there, man or woman, whatever one, got love or pathless. My public service director, which is Ryan Harvey, Mr. Claxton, Mr. Bowers, my mayor pro tem. Back then, sometimes we didn't really want to invite him a lot, but Mr. Stanhope and his wife, sometimes we show up there. It would never, it'd always be your little group of circles, and sometimes we used to do it just to go out to eat and whatever, and then sometimes I always don't go because I have to work.
Well, when you got that text, and with the group that you're saying that was there, did y'all pass the picture around to each other?
I would, honestly, gosh, I don't know, but I promise you this, I wouldn't have.
So were they on the same text system with you?
I have no idea.
So y'all didn't talk about it? Nobody said anything about it? You got the picture. Did anybody say anything that was in the group with you?
It was, again, I cannot positive. I would think if I saw, it's just kind of like, just like right now, when I was coming from the ballpark, I had 3 or 4 texts. I was looking at my text. So, but when they come to me, if I don't feel my phone vibrate and I check my phone, when they come, if I look at it, if I seen it, I am not positively sure if I saw it then or went home. But I would tell you that I know when I saw it, my first thing was, unfortunately,
You thought it was hilarious.
Thought it was. I said, God Almighty, how can somebody do this? Y'all remember me saying yesterday? I didn't know women, didn't wear their panties, or whatever.
Well,
I said.
Well, we spoke to Miss Johnson.
Yeah.
We showed her the picture, and she told us that she did have on underwear, and that the picture that was depicted was actually, she said very embarrassingly, that it was her thighs because she had so much weight. She said that was not what everybody kept saying it was, that it was a vagina.
And again, if that's the case, I didn't sit there and stare at it because I'm gonna tell you, man to man, it ain't something I want to look at anyway.
Yeah,
whatever.
But
I'm just this way where I am. So you're exactly right. Did I sit there and stare when they?
Oh no, I didn't say you stare, but I'm asking you. You saw the picture. You thought it was hilarious.
I didn't. No, I didn't think it was hilarious. I said that on my scenario earlier. If you go on a website and you see someone take a picture, whatever, you look at, oh my gosh, that's how gross. I never thought it was hilarious. To me,
well, he said hilarious, and he said, oh, it's kind of gross. I can't
but it's you think if you don't know the person, but once you, and that might be your initial reaction, but to me, like I told y'all yesterday, if it had been my wife, I wouldn't be the mayor today, because I'd be finding out who I'd have been after somebody. I'd have been doing it. Because she did not deserve to be going through that.
Yeah, but that's in hindsight. But
sure.
Originally, now, you think that now. Are you thinking that now because of such a press conference? Because I want to ask you, did you ever say anything to the person that sent you the picture? Did you send him a text back saying, this is inappropriate, I don't appreciate you doing this?
Again, I think we had the conversation. I don't know. Times and I'm saying, I'm not nervous about this.
You didn't.
I don't remember if I ever actually, and I could have. I cannot sit here and tell you.
Well, you told us yesterday you didn't.
I don't think you're right. I don't think I got. I've not talked to Mr. Stanhope on one hand, because it's just some other things that have been said about other things, not politically at all, that I just don't agree with what him and his wife are doing and saying.
But at the time of the picture was being taken,
sure.
you were still on a speaking basis.
Well,
Y'all were consistently seeing each other. You
There's
still
still
see
a
each other
member of
counseling.
Yeah.
well, again, yes, and that's about the only time we would see each other.
But you didn't feel it was
Except
appropriate
Churchill.
to tell him, you know, you didn't feel that it was appropriate to pull him to the side. Even though that's your friend, you pull him to the side and say, listen,
Right.
man, you know, this is my job.
Mhm.
Don't do this. This is not appropriate. You know, I'm the mayor. You're and like you and I had a conversation yesterday. You said there was your friends and stuff like that. And I explained to you, like I told you yesterday, if somebody truly is your friend,
Mhm.
they would not put you in a position to
Mhm.
compromise your job or who you are.
Yep, and that's exactly right. Now, if I look back again and say, did I, you know, when I thought through this, I I don't know if it was that night or it was very shortly afterwards
Mhm.
that I had conversation with several people about that picture.
Okay.
And it was him. And I will tell you, like I said, the reason I kept it, because my wife, when I come home and showed it to my wife and told her what had happened, first place, it's sick to take it in and then it's overall sick that you would do that in your in where you're at. I mean, you're supposed to be a leader of your community, representing your community that way. I then chose to keep it because I'm thinking if this does get out, I ain't gonna be the one that's gonna be held responsible for it. And eventually, I did delete it. And and there was some conversation because I know me and I think me and Mr. Claxton may have shared it. I talked about it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I did. I wanted it to go away. I wanted it to go away, and I really, honest to gosh, until it come out on that thing, I thought it had went away. Because sometimes the embarrassment of your city. Right now, I call hell. Look, it was a joke. Them guys, my football guys, my officials today. And now some of them guys don't know me. Them young guys that'll referee your games. So some of them younger fellows don't know me. But if my close friends I've been refereeing with for a long time, that was the conversation. He said, man, you're catching hell and points. Yeah, it's an embarrassment. So it's an embarrassment of our city. So when them things like that, if the fewer people who knew it or saw it or would not been around Miss Johnson to make comments one way, I just wanted it to go away. Now when it come back out, and it's come out.
And see right there, hear me out, okay?
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know you at all.
Mhm.
I mean, not one bit.
Mhm.
So I don't want to make you mad
Mhm.
by saying I don't think you're being 100% honest.
Mhm.
But I want to say I don't think you're being 100% honest, okay?
Mhm.
What day of the week are your city council meetings?
Thursdays.
So every Thursday. I'm going to tell you a little
Once
bit
a
about
month.
what they're typically Thursday evenings.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about my background and a few other people that work here in this office.
Mhm.
And Matt Libby knows me, he can tell you
Mhm.
if you want to verify with him. I spent over 10 years working narcotics, and when I was at C&T along with Colonel Smith here and some other people,
Mhm.
we did a lot of wiretaps.
Mhm.
And to do wiretaps, you have got to type up 80 pages worth of crap to tell a judge why you can justify doing a wiretap. And part of that is be able to pick through phone records like nobody's business and saying that we've tried to do 20 other things to get this guy and his organization and none of it works. I've sat there for a month looking at paperwork and doing nothing but looking at paperwork until my head was ready to explode, along with a few other people in this office. And I'm afraid that since I don't feel you're being 100% candid right now, our bosses are going to feel you're not being 100% candid right now. And they're going to want to go ahead and subpoena phone records to where I'm going to be stuck going back from last summer through Christmas, looking at every dang Thursday night your incoming phone records, looking for SMSs, which are phone pictures, and I'm gonna have to look for one coming from that other guy's phone, and then see if it was the one from her, following that executive session, and I'm gonna have to follow the trace number that's on that picture, which identifies that individual picture of her up the skirt shot, and see if you sent it to anybody. And at the same time, when it left his phone, get his phone records and see if you sent it to anybody else, and then look at the GPS coordinates and see if you're sitting at Applebee's together with them. And then it's going to come out that you're not being 100% candid that way. And that's why I would just rather us start over completely. Hear me out before you say anything else.
Sure.
That's why I would just rather right now just everyone take a break and just give yourself a second and give us a second and just let that sink in. Because honestly, if I feel you're not being 100% candid,
Mhm.
I'm afraid our bosses will feel the same way.
Mhm.
And I've done that.
Mhm.
I'm doing this now and it's a little bit easier.
Mhm.
I don't want to do that again.
Yep.
It's a pain in the butt.
And I am
But-
telling you, it's all
So,
sincerity.
I would just
Right.
like, if there's
And I'll
anything,
take a deep
anything
breath.
that's been left out,
I will take
I
a
would
deep
just
breath.
like for
I
it to be all on the
cannot-
table right now.
Right. And I am telling you, because I told, and it's almost embarrassing a little bit. So, I can remember your name because Mackie stands out to me very well from a friend of mine who used to umpire with us a few years ago. I don't even know if y'all can or not.
Yeah, my father.
Tanya Mackie is.
Oh, Tanya's my sister.
So your father, really? Man, I thought the world of him when he was out there out at Savannah State. No kidding. And your name just stood out. I knew it. I couldn't remember your name for hell how I always seen you walk out the door.
That's the tell.
Yeah, but that Mackie stood out. That Mackie stood out. And I sometimes forget, and it's not, look here, let me tell you what. I just flat, and I am being honest to God, truthful with you. I am not positively sure if we had conversation that night, and I swear to God on my daddy's grave, I am not positively sure. I know I had conversation.
So who did you have conversation with?
I want to think that I at least did I speak to my brother-in-law about it? Did I speak to Ernie about it? And I am telling you the truth. You're right, because I'm not going. Like I said, whether hear me out on this. When it goes this, I'll take the bullet if it's my fault. I have took that bullet plenty of times, not plenty of times, but a few times when I know I admitted my wrongs.
And
But I am not- I know,
and
no.
no one's saying anything's your fault. by
No, but what
means.
I'm trying to say, I just do not remember, and hear me, I am so damn truthful with you, and I know you don't believe, and look, I know I've been around 100 times. I don't know if it was that night at Applebee's.
Okay.
I could not tell you for factual if it was either Galtwalt or Elizabeth there, because sometimes they're never both of them there,
Okay.
because usually only one of
When
the
it
other.
comes to shooting.
And sometimes they come and sometimes they don't. I know, I just don't remember when and hilarious is the wrong word. Did I giggle? Did I say, oh my God, that is sick? And that's probably my terminology a lot. Did I see it then? Did I pull it up and did I say, God, y'all get this or whatever? Or, because I just don't know because my inner circle of people I trust in, I don't know if I actually, now Mr. Claxton says he's never actually seen the picture.
Okay.
I talked to Mr. Claxton, he said he never, but I know me and him discussed the fact is that there was a picture out there.
So
And
what was the conversation?
basically saying, did y'all see the picture that was sent to me?
Now who's
It-
y'all? Because Claxton is one person.
Well,
so
Claxton
you say-
and quite frankly, I don't know, my inner circle in politics would be surrounded by, now look, I don't bring Miss Jordan into because she's a good Christian woman. Her being a woman, she's our clerk of council, she represents, she does not want to hear that. 'Cause I will tell you this, she says, I don't want to hear that because if y'all go ask her, she's going to tell you the truth. I will tell you all day, she'll lie, she won't lie, cheat, or steal from me, but she got my back. I went in and asked her to do something. I get so mad at her because she will not do what I asked her to do when she might think it's borderline unethical. In other words, like I say, if I'd have told her, if the sheriff people show up today and I'm in office, don't tell them I'm here. She said, Mr. Mayor, I'm not gonna lie. If you're here, I'm gonna tell them you're here. That type thing. So I would not have brought her up, but my inner circle of people are people like Mr. Claxton, Matt, Mayor Pro Tem Bowers, the group of people that I can go to that without.
And what about your county attorney? Don't your attorney?
I would not. A little bit. He's been with me for 11 years. Sometimes, when I first become mayor, they say they don't go call him unless you need him because he's going to charge you. We have, through the years, have had a relationship by mayor, call me anytime if you need to ask.
Well, did you talk to him about this picture?
I'm not positively sure.
So you didn't.
Not
You
positively
were.
And
You were sure enough to keep the picture for
And I'll tell you what-
purposes of personal purposes, as far as making sure it doesn't come back on you.
On
but
me.
you didn't think that it would legal. So evidently, you thought somewhere along the line it would be legally liable for you to be charged with them. With you, either you charged with taking the picture or somebody holding
That's
the picture.
exactly why I kept it for such a long time. And
So
because
why wouldn't you talk to Why wouldn't you talk to the city attorney about it?
Because quite frankly, and to be honest to gosh with you, I just wanted it to go away. And that is the honest to God's truth.
So you and him never had a conversation about it?
I don't.
Because if he was at, what if he was at that? If he was at Applebee's with you that day,
Yeah.
would y'all have had something to say about
it? If I saw it then, I here again, and I am not lying to you, I just don't remember. I do not remember. It was so far back now. Whether you believe me or not, I sometimes think I got some kind of dementia that
No, I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm a straightforward person. I don't bite my tongue. Okay.
Yep, I want you to.
I'm gonna tell you like this right here. You are saying what is convenient for you to say in order for you to get by with what you want to get by. It is convenient for you to say, well, I don't remember, but I remember this. I don't remember this, but I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they line up in the pieces. When you line the pieces up, you're giving segments of each section,
Mm-hmm.
but anything that you think is going to hurt you or going to cause you any issue, you're negating to tell us.
Or anything you think is going to really affect someone that you consider a friend.
Look here. If I lost his friendship tomorrow, it would.
So when was the first time the city attorney that you're friends with saw the picture? The guy that you've been with for 11 years hasn't charged every time he should have charged you.
I cannot even tell you exactly when it was, and so I don't know if the fact is if Eric saw it, and I look, you're right, and I'll bounce around it because look, this is the first time I ever went through this, and it scares me to death that something that I had nothing to do with except the picture was sent to me, and I wanted it to go away because look here. Me and her sometimes don't see eye to eye on a lot of things.
That's politics. We understand.
That's right, but she's still not to be subject to that. And when it was taken and when it was sent to me, and I am probably pretty damn sure he took it. I've sat there 1,000 times, even last night when I was sitting there in front of my TV thinking about it again.
Mr. Mayor.
Who sits right there when she sits right there that could have took it, and it's only could have been one of possibly 3 people.
Mr. Mayor, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this, like I say. There's no way somebody would have sent me a picture like that, and I would not have asked them 2 things. Who took that picture, and why did you send it to me? So I'm quite sure you and he have had that conversation.
I think, and here again, I'll tell you.
I mean, it's just a simple. Have y'all had that conversation? It's a simple yes or no.
I'm telling you, I think that I've conversed with him, but I swear to God to you, you could probably, if you could have me on film and on tape, I just do not.
Well,
remember.
you keep telling me you think you talked to him, and then you do. Either you listen
I'm
to me.
I'm
I can
pretty
tell you like this right here.
I've talked to people, but I don't know.
Well, how many people have you talked to about this?
I couldn't give you a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I always talk to Mr. Claxton about it because he's my right arm. He's the one that I trust in.
And he's the one you said your company's never seen the picture.
He says he didn't see the picture. I'm not saying I am confident he didn't see it.
So he told you he hasn't seen the picture.
He says that he's not. Matter of fact, he told me even as of yesterday that he has not even opened up the because he was in Arkansas last week. That he was when the complaint come in, that he's not even seen the envelope. Now, if he's telling that, if that's what he's telling me. Now, again, the same way, you're saying the same thing that I'm saying what's convenient for me to say, whatever. And I can only tell you what I'm saying. I know when me and Ernie were talking, and I'm not telling you, some of that stuff when I used to be, let's go back just a little bit, whenever they used to say all that, put all that goofiness on that group text messages. And I would look at them, and then you know how it goes back when you can get to download it by so many times, or it comes up download, and then sometimes I don't open it up, I can't see it, and then it goes away. Sometimes my wife, like I tell you again, she got so perturbed that when they would be sending stuff and borderline vulgarity with all that group of people, my wife decided to tell them that she didn't want to be a part of that 15 or 16 people that were getting the things. Again, you asked me if it was that part of it, I almost positively know. If I go back and look, and I'm sure if you went back and searched them phone records and you look back and seen that it was sent to Pig Jones and so and so and so and so, I'm sure y'all could see it. Because you know, it goes Pig Jones ... When I send out my text message to my officials, I got Pig Jones and ... And you can go back and see who saw it. And I know that you got the ability to go back and do that.
Have you ever sent the picture out?
I don't, shit. I would be, if someone, I'd say no. Now, am I 100% positively certain? But I would swear to God, you would have to prove me, and I would sit there and cry on the witness stand.
Let me tell you something. You would know if you sent that picture.
I would say no then. I cannot, sitting here today, months later, did I send that to somebody?
Not months later. Did you send it when you got
it? I would say no.
Did you send
I would say no. I would say no. I would not do that. That is not me. I would not send that picture.
Well, according to you, you wouldn't have held it. You're such a good
I held the
person,
picture for one. I held the picture for one reason, and one reason only. When I deleted it, when all this stuff come back, I said, I don't want this thing on my phone.
You deleted it what, a few months ago because
honestly, because I don't want no part of. I wanted no part of it. I don't want no part.
But explain to me again why you held on to it.
Because if you come to me, or if that would have come out like 2 weeks later, well, I ain't want no part of it.
Okay, what's I'm saying? Wait a second. Okay, so you held on to the picture because why?
Because if someone sends that picture to me, that's showing pretty much now. And I ain't the smartest guy in the world. My grandson has to teach me the technology. But if someone sends out the picture to me, that's pretty much showing that I didn't take the picture.
Okay, you want to be able to say to someone, this person.
Yeah, if you come to me, if that would have got out 2 weeks later, and criminal charges, or they want to go arrest Mr. Stanhope, or they want to come ask me because I was one of 9 or 10 people in there, I would have had that on my phone.
Why didn't you keep the picture so you could show it to us that you weren't the arbitrator?
Because, quite frankly, I just didn't. I never thought this would go this far, and I said, you know what? I wanted to go away.
Well, you deleted it 2 months ago, right?
You
deleted it when it became an issue.
Or did you leave it after it hit Facebook?
Right about that time.
After it hit Facebook.
Right about that time. I wanted to be off me.
After it hit Facebook.
Right. I don't know. Here again, I don't know exactly when it hit Facebook, but I know when I was made aware of it, I went back searching and made to see if I still had it. Because if you go look at my phone, I will show it to you. I got text. I know. Listen to me. I just want to tell you. Give me my word. Did I go through it in months and months and months? And I have not cleaned this thing out in a long time.
We're fine with that.
All right. So when I saw it, I said, you know what? And when I talked to my wife, she says, you need to get rid of that.
But then your wife.
And I went back and found it.
She told me. Your wife tell you that when you originally got it the first time.
And the reason why, again, for the umpteenth time, the reason I did then, I wanted to make sure it is. But see, look, when it comes back, and now I will say this, it's out there then. When it made that right there, somebody's gonna get it. Now, if this goes to court, and I get subpoenaed to court, and I go in there, you or your bosses or whatever, there is not like I've told y'all, there ain't with 110% accuracy. I didn't take that picture.
Well, we understand that, but
and I'm confident of that. Yeah. I've got no doubt about that. But again, my problem is
why I got rid of it. I was scared.
And you know what? And
I was scared.
And I'm good with that. And I believe that. My thing is this. But you deleted it once people started saying, "Holy cow, that idiot put this stuff on Facebook."
And I got scared, and I wanted to go away. You want the answer? I got scared.
And I got rid of it. And I'm good with that, and I completely agree. And that's
because I don't want to be a part of it. Because you know what? I am, and I tell you again, and we can sit here and talk tonight. I am not going down. And if y'all took me out of handcuffs today, and I got out of here and went time to go to court, you would have to prove that I didn't take that I didn't take that picture, because I just, and here again, did I say some things to Ernie? Either if I saw it that night, I did, or was it the next day, or was it church Sunday? Because we were still going to church together.
Gotcha.
So sometime I'm pretty sure I would have said something to him. I talked to my inner circle of people who would have never talked to Debbie. And I would have thought to myself, I said, well, that was crazy. Why did you do this? Why was it taken? Whatever. Well, okay, you're stupid for doing it, but it's going to go away. Did I have in a million years believe him or someone else would have gave it to this guy Steely, who I just met last year because of politics and nothing else.
Well, did you?
I have
Did
no-
you? Well, you said you had that conversation. So that conversation, that was what you would have had. Did you have that conversation with him?
I don't know how it went down.
But you did have a conversation with him about him sending a picture.
I would think that during either I said if it was at Applebee's, and if it was, and we saw it, and they got a laugh at it, and let me tell you, I can see him right now. I can visually see him thinking that shit was funny.
Okay,
And I don't know if we did.
Because in that environment, I mean, because honestly, in that environment, if it was us three in that environment, in that circumstances, she's new to the council, she's bucking the norm. You know, she's probably not playing nice. She's not getting along. She's new to the community. You know, we're friends for a long time. Our families are friends for a long time. You know, and here she is basically, you know, and I'm going to use a bad word, someone like I'm sorry, but she's the bitch because she's causing problems for us. And, you know, hey, look what the hell I did, you know, ha ha ha. It is funny. It is amusing.
At the time it might have been.
At the time, right. Hindsight 2020, it's not.
Right.
Was it immature? Yes. Was it funny? Yes. Was it really? No. But at the time, because of the circumstances surrounding what happened at that council meeting an hour earlier when she had everybody furious, it was. And unfortunately, that's what leads to silly mistakes becoming bad problems.
Let me tell you why I think
And,
really
you know,
that picture was taken. And I really do, honestly, and I thought back through this, and I've even asked Mr. Claxton his thoughts on it. And we talked. I said, Mr. Claxton, why do you think a grown man, first place, without got to have a sick mind? I think we all agree with that. Somebody got to be a sick mind to do that in the first place. And whether her legs were closed or whether it was open or whatever. I said, you know, why do you think he did that to, except the fact that he probably hates her? We go back to that picture, because they was wearing his ass out pretty good in council. They had people asking me to make him resign. And
So the other people in the council knew he had taken the picture.
No, not that picture. I'm talking about when it all started with the ice bucket.
Yeah.
You had some citizens coming up and telling me, and then you had some council people who didn't like the picture, including Miss Powers, who's really politically on my side, but I don't think them two ever saw eye to eye. And then, but then he read a letter. He read a letter out to council and to the thing. That what he did, and I'm not sure how that went, but he said that he was not going to resign. Y'all know this or can find this out. The only way you can resign or can be removed from office is basically if you did some criminal element or the governor can come down, right? So when the people come in front of me and told me, Mr. Mayor, I want you to ask him and get a council people to ask him. First place, I said illegal. You can't have a vote. Now you can vote if you want to, but the bottom line is,
You can't remove
make
him
him
from
remove
council.
it. So I told him, I said, sir, I'm not going to honor your request because he's already read a letter that said he cannot resign. He's not going to resign. I said, so I'm not going to go pull the council and be a political issue where he's done told you he's not going to resign and we cannot have. So I'm going to deny a request to even bring that in front of council, and we moved on. So I really believe when he got humiliated there, and rightfully so, probably should have. I think that ever since then, and I believe also that he knew he was not going to run for re-election because the way our districts changed. I believe that he honestly would have done anything to get back at her because he had nothing to lose at this time. Now,
So she was a spearhead for him being removed.
I think that she has been the leader of that group up there. Now that's when and again, like we talked about yesterday, Mr.
So basically, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So basically, you're saying it was a revenge thing.
At the end of the day, that's what I said, and Mr. Claxton and I pretty much agree with.
So how many conversations have you and Mr. Claxton had about this?
We just started. Well, like I said, he was going to Arkansas, and then I was in Hilton Head when I was made aware of it. We talked about it. I know we've talked about it several times because, quite frankly, we were just saying what's going to come. I started researching what could happen. what can we do to him because he's not a councilman no more, he's a citizen.
So
I
did
don't
you
know.
ever talk to the attorney or city attorney
I
about
don't
that?
know.
That would be
Yeah, I mean, my
something
thought
you,
would be is if, what is the liability for the city?
Let me tell
Since
you.
a city councilman took this picture when they were on city council, now they're no longer city
Let me tell you
councilman,
about
I'd
Eric.
go straight to the city attorney,
Let
that'd
me
be
tell
my
you about
first stop.
let me tell you about Eric and Elizabeth. Lately, we have been really frustrated with our city attorney. Mr. Claxton is ready to remove him. I've been bucking at it. It's been going on probably.
and Mr. Claxton is
City administrator.
okay.
Administrator, so I call him manager, if you guys call him
Yeah,
city
city manager.
administrator.
Yeah, I've been trying to make him manager. I can't get council to convince him because, as you well know, as city administrator, the mayor has more of mayor and council does. We have a strong mayor government. He told me yesterday over a whole nother issue, that little Houston Baptist Museum we have up there on Highway 21. He says that he just sometimes over exaggerates, but he says I have Elizabeth or Eric has not responded to my 15-something emails. So he actually went. We have another attorney in Effingham that's handling this land acquisition for our part. So he called him yesterday. He made me aware that he called. I'm not sure his name. Can't remember his name. To see if he could handle what he needed to be handled. That attorney said no. To the end of the day, we have not really, except I used to communicate with Eric a lot more, up to about a year, probably last year. Only time now, we don't see Eric as much as we see Elizabeth. Eric used to be, Galtwall, used to be the county attorney in Effingham, that group of his people, but he was the main man. They just removed him last year, sometime they changed formats. I don't know what Eric, sometimes I think they think that Eric, when he was with Effingham, we thought that he'd always put us on the back burner and wouldn't get our work done. To the point that I'm kind of seeing that. So we don't have conversations like I used to have with him.
So then that
So
means
did I go to him?
Well, how about the young lady that works with him, his partner, or yes?
You know, again.
Which one of them was at Applebee's with you first?
Oh, I would not. No, that I sure would know because that's a matter of who comes and who don't. And then I know she got a new baby. Like last nobody went this past Thursday night or the last council meeting. Nobody went. We didn't go. I went home.
Yeah, I'm quite sure y'all probably didn't want to.
After that night, because she told me, cause I didn't say I was willing to. Hey, because look here, when I know in my heart that I have nothing to hide and my memory might go, and I'm telling you this, and when we stepped out, me and Elizabeth and Matt and Claxton, when the doors were locked, we actually talked about that scenario when she bolted out of the room and she got outside, and they say she was cussing, and she basically, the newspaper lady tried to get her, and she says, I ain't talking to you either, whatever, and she went outside to talk to her group of friends, to the point from what Matt told me was that she was cussing so bad that he asked Major Sherriff to go outside and ask her to calm down and go, and maybe just go ahead and leave. I know she was upset. Trust me, I know she was upset. And so
But
then,
do you think she had a right to be upset?
oh my gosh, yes. How many times have I told you that if it had been my wife, you wouldn't have to be doing this investigation?
Well, if
I'd have found out
something,
it was.
you know that you say that, and that was something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
You said if that was your wife or your daughter, you would go down there and deal with the person that done it, right?
But that's more personal. That ain't got nothing to do with politics or the city or nothing. That would be
Let
personal.
me finish.
What if it was her son? Her son that found out about it. Her son who
Hold on, let me finish my question. And you also say that you're such a religious person and you're honorable. If that's the case, being the fact that she's a woman, period, flat across the board, don't you think that you should have, first of all, as mayor, should have took action on what happened? Secondly, even as a man, knowing that you got a wife and a daughter, don't you think that you should have said something, done something, or handled it in a different manner?
Looking back, yes. Looking back, yes. But at the time, I wanted it to go away.
Well,
It was. You can call it what you want. You can call it funny. You can call it. Look here, in the politics of the Port Wentworth, even before me, I've been involved with politics all my life in Port Wentworth. So ever since I can remember, my father and my grandpa and my mother, and then I finally decided to do this thing. This is always, even when we were between Grange Road and Bonnie Bridge, before all that stuff, it's always been divisiveness somewhere. When she, look here, she ain't been doing me no favors, and sometimes, you know what I would think, and I will tell you the truth, I would just like her to run against me for mayor if I decided to run for mayor, and me beat her so I wouldn't have to deal with her anymore. But I will tell you this, I respect her because she's a councilwoman, a council person, appointment. Her people in Newport, for the most part, voted her in. They chose her over the gentleman who was on council before, who was also African American. I really kind of wanted him because I always say, but I got a pretty good counselor. You know, me and him always didn't get along, but at least I know what I had with him. I had no idea what I had with her coming on because I knew that she was being supported by Fred, and I knew that wasn't going to be good. So we at that part, did I say, you know what? The hell with it, yeah, and I did it to the point is, but you know, I wanted it to go away. I thought, and this is truthful, and if we spoke on it during that weekend to Ernie, and we kind of had a moment with it, I would call you if I walked out of here and I started thinking. But I am telling you, I've drawn a cloud or a blank because I'm not hiding it from you. I hid it from you yesterday. Not on purpose, but I wanted to, exactly what I'm taking. I am telling you, am I being 100% truthful with you? And I know you might not believe it, but I'm telling you, I would quit today before I would let my family get hurt by this. And that's what I want. So now going back to that, do I think it was wrong? Yes. Do I think I could have done other things with it? Oh yes. When I go back out, when I wanted to just, I said, you know what? That's Ernie Stanhope being Ernie Stanhope, and he's stupid. He had nothing to lose. He hated Debbie Johnson. He whatever. I just wanted to go away. When it come back on Facebook, and I'm not even sure how I found out about it. But when I went and I saw it on that forum, and I went back and looked, and I said, let me go back and see if I still got that picture on my phone. And when I found it, I told my wife, because I told her I found it, I deleted it, because I said, I ain't want no part of it. Should I have kept it? Should I have kept it? Hindsight, yes. But honestly, gosh, I've never went through this. Y'all go through this all the time. It's a scary format for me. And when we walk out this door today, and whatever happens, because I'm ready for it, and whenever y'all turn this in to Freeman and to Sheriff Welch or whoever sees this, and it comes back to me, I am going to take the recommendations of my Germer attorneys, from Johnny Welcher, from Billy Freeman, and y'all too. Because she has made a complaint of racial discrimination and sexual harassment. I think that's the two complaints. I'm actually not even, I'm not getting email on my phone because I got too many pictures on my phone, so I'm not getting email. So I actually, when I was working, I asked Miss Jordan to basically give me the gist of it. So am I right? It's a sexual harassment and racial discrimination.
We're not dealing with that. We're only, like I said, I told you before.
Okay, the
fact
complaint.
finders. We're only dealing with the case was
Okay,
turned
well,
over
the
to
complaint.
us.
So when it comes back to me, then, and this is all business. Way back when that first picture surfaced, and I seen it, I said, you know what? This is stupid out of Ernie. Did we gawk at it? We say, you know what? This is that stupid. You know, 100 things went in my mind.
And Ernie is
Stanhope.
okay.
So let me finish the statement.
Hold on a second. Something you just said.
Yep.
And you said, did we gawk at it? Who's we?
Whoever, if we did, and we're in terminology, if I was there, if I saw it then and we looked at it, I cannot. I'm coming to cloud. I could walk out of here and maybe clear my mind.
Well, you said you told Ernie that this is stupid. So
I don't know if I did then.
But you did talk to him.
I know I had conversation. I know I had conversation. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, listen.
I told you. I know I had conversation.
Hold on, Mr. Mayor. Hold on. Listen. We don't gain anything out of this. You don't have to try. We're not gonna get anything out of this. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna change the price of tea in our world, mm-hmm. because when this case is over with, mm-hmm. he's gonna go back to doing what he do. I'm gonna go mm-hmm. back to doing what I do. I'm gonna go home and see my wife. He's gonna go home and see his wife. Mm-hmm. We are not the ones we're not trying to trap you in anything. All we're trying to do is get the facts.
as
Now you-
quickly and easily as possible.
And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm trying to
I got
tell
a
you.
gate to go build. I'm ready to go out
Well,
there.
I got to go see
And I
my
got a
grandbaby,
plan.
and I'm looking for a cold beer by the poolside. That's what I'm telling you.
But let me ask you something. Okay, now
A gate to go
you-
build on Saturday afternoon in
Yes,
the
sir.
sun.
you and Ernie have talked about this, right? Y'all, you in Stanfield.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you spoke to him, did you ask him why did he take the
No,
picture?
that in general conversation,
Okay.
I'm talking. I'll be honest with you.
I got you.
I don't know exactly what I said.
Okay, so
I don't know what I said.
so you know, but in your impression when you spoke to him in the event as the person that why did he take the picture? Why would you take a picture like this? That's the kind of conversation y'all had.
Personally, if you know him like I know him,
It's just a yes or no.
it didn't
so, Mr.
surprise me.
Mayor. Okay, yeah, and okay, but did y'all? Is that the kind of conversation? Is that the way you talk to him?
I would have probably knowing him again.
It's just yes or no, Mr. Mayor. I mean,
Ask the question again.
Is that the type of conversation you had as if, listen, you took this picture, you know you shouldn't have took that picture. That was crazy you to take a picture like this, right?
I would have said no. I would answer no because I know it didn't surprise me.
So you thought that he took the picture?
Yeah, I'm almost.
Or your conversation would have been like, "Damn, Ernie, you're a fool."
Oh yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Because-
Your question was, do I
no,
I get on
okay,
it? Did
I
I get on it? My conversation been more like that
Yeah.
because I'm used to
Yeah.
his used to sending stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's not. It did not shock me. Let me tell you
For
this.
him to do that is typical
If
Ernie.
Mayor-
Damn, dumbass.
Exactly.
You're
if
at
Mayor-
it again.
if my mayor pro tem who sits right there would have took that picture and he'd have sent it to me, it would have shocked me beyond unbelief. But am I 100% certain that Judd didn't take the picture? Which I know we're grasping. But am I 100% certain that Judd didn't take the picture and send it to Ernie and Ernie sent it to me? That didn't happen. But am I 100%? So I am 99% sure that Ernie took the picture and sent it to me. But I'm telling you, that's where it comes to me. And I know where he sits. Now, Mr. Herron, every once in a while, sits over there.
Yeah, but you're skirting around the issue.
I'm
We
just
already
telling you.
established
All right,
the
you
fact
got
that you know.
So
we
you're
established
questioning
the
me.
fact.
What you're asking me is how the conversation, the way the conversation would have went down, knowing Stanhope
Okay.
as I talked to him, would have been more like what
Okay,
you
so
said.
okay, but the conversation went the way he said it. What was his response to you?
He probably laughed at knowing, seeing him, he laughs off stuff. He did not take.
So he didn't deny anything about taking the
Look,
picture. He just laughed it
He
off.
didn't even take counsel serious over the last year and a half. Ever since.
Yeah, but we're not talking about counsel.
I'm
We're
telling you,
talking
that's
about
what
the
I'm saying.
picture.
I'm just telling you, that's how he did. He did not think anything was wrong with it.
Okay, so now earlier you said that you in your mind you thought whoever took that picture was perverted.
Well, hell yeah.
What is it?
Wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I do.
Alright.
You asked me what I thought about the person who
Yeah.
took the picture yesterday, and I explained it to you very
And he
clearly.
probably, because he's put me in this scenario right here, probably ain't gonna be too much of a damn friend. I'm gonna probably lose a friend or two out of that, him and his wife. But you know what? Again, I am not.
But why would you want to be friends with somebody that would take a
Well,
perverted
here
picture?
again, like I said, I've known the Stanhope family. His two younger brothers were like a year behind me at Groves. He was older than I am. I don't even know how much older he is than me. I think he's in his early 60s. His wife and I, we have been childhood friends. And it's sometimes hard, and it gets personal. Forget about counsel, and forget about politics and whatever, all that. When you're friends with somebody all your life, and her daughter works for me at the city, and I've watched her grow up, and when you got family, it's tough. And that's why I've always said, that's why I wanted to get behind this. I could not tell you for sure if he's hiding that from his wife and his daughter.
But I mean,
I don't know. But if you got to know Stanhope, he don't care to the point he giggled, he laughed stuff off. He's a perverted individual, and so when he sent it to me and when he took it, it didn't. And I say when, and I'm to the point that I would say he took it. But again, I could not. If attorney asked me, do you believe he took it? I would say yes. Do I
You
know
know
for
he
a fact
took
sure? No.
But he
I
never
know
denied it when you were speaking to him.
Man,
in that
he
terms.
laughed it off, and I know he laughed. And here again, at the time when we get together, sometimes if we go out to, and we have in the past, not as of years, but during church scenarios or whatever, if we all get together after that, and we're always talking, that would have been maybe the conversation or what it was. You know what? At the end, you know, I would think if I had that conversation and if I saw it, and again, I cannot be 100% proof, but if that thing vibrates, you just see me look. Well, I gotta, you know, look. If I got that and I felt that vibrate, I looked and I saw that, and I clicked on there, and I saw that, and I said, "Oh my Lord!" Did I turn and show it to him? Did you see this right here, there? Or if he come in, or I might turn. I said, "You see that?" I cannot tell you, and I'm being sincere, possible. And then if he happened to come in at it, because I will tell you, sometimes he would go home because we would get there early. My wife never comes to council meeting. She want to put up with it. I will always call her and say, "Hey, I'm going to run out." So she knows the routine. And do you want me something? Bring you home something. And she'll either tell me or not, whatever. He a lot of times goes and gets his wife. So his wife don't come to council meeting. So he'll go home and get her, and then they'll come. So sometimes he won't get there until 15 or 20 minutes after we are there. So it's usually a man thing if it's Eric, and then it's a woman thing with Elizabeth. But I don't want to be rude, but Elizabeth sometimes can talk like a man, if you get my drift. I mean, she's an attorney, and she's respectful.
We work with cops. So
Yeah, exactly.
got
So you get that right. Yeah. So you get that part. So we don't really, even though I'm respectful, I would never use the F word or anything in front of Elizabeth, unless it just kind of popped out because my vulgarity about it was I was mad. And then I usually, as soon as I say it, I'll apologize to him. I ain't gonna apologize to no man.
So when he came to the.
So if he did, and if he sent it to me, then, and again, guys, I am being as truthful as you. If he sent it to me then, and I saw it, I'm just not positively sure. But I know I at least laughed it off with him or thought, man, but it's Ernie. If you was to go, if I could bring you in here 5 people, they would probably tell you the same thing.
Yeah, well, Mr. Mayor, I gotta ask you this, and this is something that I need to know. Mm-hmm. Everybody says, yeah, it's a despicable picture now, but in the process when it was an inside joke, when y'all were passing around to each other, showing it to each other, laughing about it, and telling everybody.
I don't think we were actually laughing. We thought it was gross that some woman, if it was that new terminology, upskirt. You know, it was not an upskirt. She was sitting down.
But y'all thought it was hilarious that y'all thought it was wrong of her to be sitting that way, but you didn't think it was wrong of him to take a picture like that and pass it around.
Never said that. I said that I thought, oh my gosh, how would someone even spread their legs for someone even to be able to do that? Right? That was the gross part of it, and that's where I was talking about how when you see that on a gossip site. And you see it, and you say, "Oh my gosh, that's ugly as hell." What you just and then goes on. So that's how it went. And I think maybe, and really, honestly, I think when I went home and I told Kathy about it, and because she really don't like Ernie anyway, for some other reasons, but she deals with it because when we go to things. So. To the point that this morning she got up with me and she prayed about it, and she says, you know, God told us I was going to come talk to y'all, and she says, Pig, just tell them what you know and don't hide it. And I said, baby, I am, and I'm not leaving. Was he there then, or did I call him up? I just don't know when I spoke at him about it, and I don't know how it went. Did he come up there? I probably, if Deborah come there with him, it's probably a good thing that maybe, because you know, as perverted as that is, I'm not going to embarrass him in front of his wife because I've known Deborah all my life. So, did we?
You would pull him off to the side. And
or if she went to the bathroom, I'd say, "Man, where'd you get this? Or how'd you get this?" And I can see it. I can see him laughing it off. I can see it because I'm telling you, he hated her. Here is no you could go ask.
So when you say that and he just laughs, and he doesn't deny that he took the picture. He doesn't.
Well, I say here again, I don't remember that part of the conversation. You know, again, I am. If you was there, he took it. There's no other way around it. He took it.
Thank you. That's all we wanted to hear you say.
But
that was it. But you know, but see.
But see, I cannot. Let's say this. What if you went out and got that $100,000 attorney?
Oh, well, listen to me.
And then he goes, and then some guy comes to me and says, "How can you prove he took that picture?" That in the court case. I know, you know, everybody else knows he took the picture.
Right.
Send to me.
You can't prove it.
How can I
no
prove?
knowledge versus prove knowledge.
No validation.
You know
Even
him,
if I
you know
kept
his
that phone,
personality.
even if I kept that phone,
Right.
and it says come from Ernie Stanhope, that's not saying that you could go back and find out. But I could not by that picture even tell me he took it. Now, I'm a man of when all these people start talking these big words, I say, tell me in lay terms.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me in lay terms. What does that mean? So the same thing. Am I crazy to believe, knowing his personality, that he didn't? Because that didn't shock me. Again, I told you, if Mr. Bowers, who sits right there, took it, you could have not have. You would have had to approve. You would have had to go back with them files. Mr. Mayor, you've been lying to me. Judge Bowers took this picture.
So why do you think he took the picture for personal reasons, or you think
I think
he
it was
took
a
it
vendetta. I told you earlier.
Well,
I think he thought anything he could get back at her, or he think to embarrass her.
So do you think he did it because he thought that she was going to run for mayor?
Oh, I don't think that.
And that was a way for him to.
The rumor that
to end it.
No, I cannot prove this. I think. I don't think Ben. You know, there's always been speculation who would run against him. This other gentleman who ran against me for mayor last time, there was some speculation that he was again. That again, Ernie don't like him, and they actually live 2 streets apart. There's been some talk that she was. Look, I don't need.
Well, when are you up for re-election?
Next year.
So not till 2017.
Yeah.
So this picture didn't serve us on the cusp of an election.
No.
So it's not like
Well,
polls are opening. Well, I mean,
yeah. It happened before last election, but I don't think that. I don't think the election.
The picture was taken last election, but she wasn't up for election then.
No.
Right.
I think it was a
But the
get
picture
back.
just hit Facebook like 3-4 weeks ago.
And this goes back to where
Right.
Steely and Hawks have been going back and forth about fighting.
So it's something more personal probably than it was political.
No doubt. I think that.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this is the way I look at it, sir. And I've looked at it and I've read it and I've watched it. And I'm gonna tell you how I look at it. He took the picture. Y'all passed the picture around. It was funny. Y'all held it, and it was hilarious to y'all, and y'all laughed about it. Well, I'm just saying, this is me. Y'all laughed about it, you know, and it was jovial because she was giving y'all a hard time. She gave y'all a headache. Y'all had to deal with her. And in the event that she did run against you again, run against you, you know, that's an ugly picture that'll be seen. And I really think that he sent it to Mr. Staley, thinking that, okay, we'll hold it. And when Mr. Staley would be your attack dog. And what happened is, after y'all realized y'all couldn't control Mr. Staley, something happened between all of y'all. And Mr. Staley got upset about it. And in retaliation, he got angry. And he posted that picture out there to get back at y'all, to let y'all know, listen, and when y'all realize that you have set in motion a path of an attack dog that y'all cannot control, it has caused total problems, total chaos for everybody, and now the backlash is causing greater anguish for y'all than y'all thought that it would cause for her.
Yeah, Mr. Steely and Mr. Hawks would go away and all of that. Now, Ernie, if in fact Ernie gave the picture to him, there's been some talk.
He sent it to him.
Okay, because I'll be honest with you. As much as I've learned to love her, Miss Powers, who's my councilwoman who ran with Debbie, and they can't stand each other now. I know she wears wigs because she's had cancer, and I know Hawks was blasting her pretty hard about being bald-headed. She's went to the hospital a few times. Steely is pretty much, that's when he's been going after Hawks and going after all 3 of them. He is kind of pissed at Fred and that whole HOA thing. All them 3 people, the 2 people who ran for election in November, they were Fred's people. They went out and they tell, you know how people tell stories to make up shit to get elected, and then they have to recount on it when they get elected. But now they're elected, right? And you can't back them off. So, but Ernie, I will tell you, and again, you know, I don't dislike Debbie. I disagree with her
That's part of politics, sir. That's
exactly.
a part of politics.
So going back to that part right there, what Ernie and them are doing with that, and how it is, and I'm being upfront with you there. That I would probably remember I told you yesterday that when some of my supporters went after Fred during my 2nd run, and they asked me to tell them to stop whatever.
I got you.
Let me tell you this: if that picture would surface, if she had, well, first place, when I'm running for mayor again after all this crap right here, my wife.
Yeah, your wife. You told me what your wife said.
Yeah, exactly. But if I did, and if it is, it's because what you love, right? A recreation. I want to build a park. I want to be a part of that park. That's my life. I helped build the old park. I want to build this new one for our kids. And that would be the only reason that I would really want to stay in it. If Debbie runs against me, I would treat her with the utmost dignity, respect, deal with any kind of issues. But if somehow or another, Steely, and I was talking to my wife about this last night, this morning, if Steely was still on the attack mode, now I hear, because Hawks and him, supposedly, I read just the other day, because Hawks sends it to me, he loves to send me all the emails, and I don't respond to it. Supposedly their conversation was, they had a peace talk, and supposedly, I understand Steely's parents had their house got broken into, and something happened to them over in Southbridge. That's how much I know, what I've heard and what I was then reading. But supposedly reading that conversation that's on my email, that and I do keep them because I keep all of his bull crap. Mulberry, his moniker is Mulberry, whatever it is, Mulberry something. Said that Steely was moving to Southbridge to be closer to his family. So if that's the case, their powwow or their agreement to stop bashing each other, did it stop, will it stop, or whatever. Hawks will never quit. The Steely quit, but I will say all that to say, if in 2 years, or in this time next year, I have to make a decision whether I'm gonna run, because you qualify in August. If he was to go out and start playing that dirty stuff right there, that's when I would take a stand and come out publicly, and I will give you my word, and I swear to God, which y'all probably could care less anyway, but I would not support someone going out and attacking Debbie in that manner. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her family. I know she's divorced. I know her father was a cop because she told me she was. So I know she comes from a respectable family. But I've met her daughter. Her daughter is a sweet human being who went to St. Vincent's and went to Mercer. She, as of recently, a few months back, she come to council meeting. And before we went to the executive session, I had a chance to talk to her and say, hey, how's Mercer? How's school? Whatever. And so I respect her. Again, at the end of the day, I hope you do something with this. When it comes back to me, because we did everything else, when we did this with Mr. Howard, we did this with Mr. Hogan, we've always did, when someone wants us to look at something, we send it to our government attorneys, because naturally don't go to our city people. So it goes to our government attorneys, then our government will assign it to somebody locally, usually, sometimes either out of Brunswick, whoever gets it. Then I will make the just decision to do what I think is best. If because of this, and you know what, right now, this is, except what was in the papers, whatever, in politics, I'm still beating up whether I want to send my first ever letter to editor to lambaste me personally what Hawks slandered me. I don't know if I am or not. Because sometimes I've got used to it just kind of goes away. And this I thought would have went away.
Gotcha.
I'll say two things about what you said. And never one time did I think it was hilarious.
Okay.
Never one time did I think it was hilarious. Did I think it was vulgar? Did I think it was hideous? Was it, in my mind, the Rosie O'Donnell picture of a few years back when was I like that? Oh my gosh, God, that's nasty. Men to men looking, that's nasty. Did I see it there in Applebee's? I would tell you probably so if it did vibrate and I saw it. You're asking me, do I know for a fact? I'm trying to tell you exactly. My mind is cloudy. Did I see it then at Applebee's? And did I say, God, did you see what Ernie sent? I cannot tell you. I am being sincere in my heart.
That's fine, Mr. Mayor. Well,
I'm sincere in my heart. I just don't remember.
well, we're going to end this out. And
Can we do one thing real quick?
Sure.
I know we've discussed where people sit in the executive section. Sorry, totally had a brain cramp for a second. Can you draw it for us? Just get a visual real quick. Can you draw it right there on that whiteboard?
Oh yeah, where we normally
Right,
sit.
yeah,
Sure,
sure.
sure.
I know we've discussed it a couple times, but
and draw it as
I can
if
be
you
very
are
visual.
facing them.
Okay, sure. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. This is we're elongated, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. This is the building. We got a hallway right in here, and this.
Well, you don't have to go through all the
all right,
hallway.
but anyway,
Just-
here's the door.
You can take the hallway down and the
All right,
building.
here's the door. All right, here's the door.
Mhm.
All right.
We
That's
just
the
need
door
a
in
room.
and out. Thing opens one way or another. I don't know if it opens out or in. All right. Then you got a table. Let's see, you got some small tables over here. They go kind of back here like that. You got some long tables, and here again now, mind you, these tables get moved around
Gotcha,
or
sir.
whatever. But normally, Miss Jordan, when she said it in the she was blaming everybody but Miss Jordan because Miss Jordan was sitting behind her.
Yes.
Usually Miriam sits back here somewhere where she can see everybody and look it up. Debbie normally, all right, this is the wall, this is the highway. All right, so this is the wall you're at. We got the windows on this side. Debbie a lot of times sits right here. All right. Then you got Stanhope and Bowers sitting somewhere along there, chairs facing out to me. Then you got 9 out of 10 times, Mr. Herron's usually sitting right here. Miss Powers will come sit right along here. So they're all spread out. I stand up. Usually the attorney, when they walk in the door, are sitting right here on the end. Philip usually stands up, and 95% of the time I stand up right here. You know, where I'm just overlooking the crowd. And if I do sit down, it would be sitting down right here. All right, this particular time, because I've pictured this. The way the picture was shot,
Mm-hmm.
he had to have been sitting down in his chair like this, and kind of without getting too much,
Mm-hmm.
without getting too visual or people seeing him,
Gotcha.
had to have leaned over like this, right? Because you're at a table.
Yep.
You're at a table. You're sitting
And
in
you
a
can
chair.
see parts of the table
Right,
right,
you see-
here in the
so
photo.
so he had to have leaned over and took the snapshot like this, because he's against the wall here. Mind you, that's Highway 17 behind us. So you got the wall with the windows. You got some tables. So he would have had to lean over and very profusely, how he did it, and took the snapshot the way it looks like from the picture.
Okay.
So that being said, I believe the tables were outlined and then had that little small aisle we walked through. I believe this particular day she was sitting here, and he was sitting here, and the picture was taken like that. I believe if she was sitting here, and he was sitting here, he could not have, because you got tables.
Gotcha.
I don't believe he could have took that picture this way. So I believe, and it's not that she is not.
So could she have been sitting further back? Because it looked like she's sitting behind him. If he did it, he would have had to been sitting further up in front.
Yeah,
of her
yeah, he
and
always
then leaned over.
Yeah, he's
and then-
like I said. Yeah, you're exactly right. He always did sit up here.
Okay.
And then sometimes Judge sat right here, and sometimes Judge sat right here. It's a matter of who got their seat first.
Okay.
But she would always be
Sit
behind
behind
him.
everybody.
Always.
Okay.
She would be, and like I said, Miss Powers might sit at the second table, and cause a lot of times she'd come sit back over here. But I vividly, look here, I went through this 1,000 times. How you even took the picture? I just don't see. And then if you'd asked me that, we could have went back there and I could show you the tables that day. And if you want to come back Monday, we can show you again. But I think that would just vividly seeing how you took the picture in the first place.
Where's what you said the city attorney usually stands?
He usually stands around here and walks around or walks up and down here because he's gonna stay close back here to Miriam.
And where do you usually stand at?
I stand right here. I'll always be in the front. We have a podium. Right here. A lot of times I'll lean up on, and there again, it's according to what we're going in there to discuss about. If we're going to be a long time, then I think I might stand up and I say, okay, we're in here because we're going to talk about executive session for 3 things: land acquisition, personnel policy. So we walk up. So I'll say, what if we, you know, okay, we got this right, we'll discuss, you know, then I'll turn it over to whoever.
Okay.
Turn it over, and most times to legal. So then cause I'll break the ice, and then I'll turn it over. If we're not, and you know, I always have privy of what we're gonna talk about in executive session. So I'll have an idea if we're gonna be in a long. But so what I'll do, I'll stand up, I'll start talking. Then usually, if I think we're gonna be in a long time, I'll sit down right here. So I'm usually in the front. I will tell you that I have been trying. Now, Mr. Barbie had asked during this thing if we could set up, if we could do, and which I've been trying for. I don't think we should have phones in the executive session, because I think in the past people have recorded, and you know, executive session, same thing. You know, Chatham County Commission, they go in the green room because they don't want nobody else to hear, right? So I think because stuff has leaked out that's made his knowledge. That's leaked out, now I believe people set their phones out, and you know, if I set my phone out right here,
You can record.
there's no damn way, you know, if I just set my phone down there.
If it's audio recording,
Audio
video
recording.
recording, you never know.
Mr. Barbie asked during that executive session, after Debbie left, that if we could do some kind of form of people, you know, not having their phones out. I said, thank you, just like that, because that has been, because I've told people all the time, I've said this, I say, friend or foe, if I can prove, and it is hard, if I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that you come into executive session because you took your oath of office to do what you're supposed to do as a council president, part of that is keeping the executive session the executive session. If you leaked out information outside, I would ask you to resign. That, you can't prove that. So he said it, I said, sure. I am over. So we've got our rules of procedure. Now, we have not come together yet because the tension is just boiled these last couple of weeks. We're just trying to let it go. Let me share something else with you because you want to know everything, and I'm being truthful with you. The person I discussed with you that I talked to, did I tell you what my names? Mm-hmm. The person I talked to 2 weeks ago, this Monday, was Carol Bell, Mayor Pro Tem of Savannah.
Okay.
Carol Bell is a very good friend of mine. I got to know Carol when she was on council and I become mayor, but then my part about refereeing, her son Joey played at Savannah Country Day. We started talking a lot of things. I know Carol is catching a lot of hell from Van Johnson and some of the people who were siding with Edna because she decided to support Eddie. If you know the story behind that, it goes a long way back. Now it's won't tell me Van and all, so she knows what I'm going through as far as the divisiveness. I did not know this about Carol, but Carol had called me at City Hall and asked me to return a phone call. I called her Monday afternoon. I talked to her when I was out in my front yard. I asked Carol as a friend, because Carol told me that, Mayor said, you might not know this, but that's what I kind of do. I do some professional coaching. I mend fences. My first thought process was I didn't really want to bring her in because she was too close to it, because I told you I was bringing in the guy from Carl Vincent's again, whatever, but we can't even get a date down for him. I've since thought about it, talking to Mr. Claxton, that she might not be the bad person to come in, because what I did ask her, and if you could go to ask Carol if you want to, and she wouldn't have denied, Carol has tried to, I asked her to go to Debbie and tell her, let her know. I said, this was the Monday after the council meeting, and it, hit the wire. I said, Carol, I want you to go, just tell Debbie. I said, she probably hates my guts. She probably thinks I have something. She thinks I'm probably in bed with Steely in that crowd. Only God and I know that I'm not. But I asked her, I said, do me a favor, Carol, if you just talk to her, and I've not talked to Carol since then. I thought she was supposed to call me back, and I guess I want to reach out to her and see, especially with all this going on. Just to get her feeling, because I've not talked to Debbie. We hadn't had a workshop. We ain't had a committee meeting. We ain't had it, but I have not seen Debbie in 2 weeks since she stormed out the room. Carol was going to reach out to her, and matter of fact, she's Mr. Mayor, and you can get a copy of it. Mr. Mayor, I'll be more than happy to, but I want to do this in a professional manner. Will you send me a letter on your letterhead asking for my services to reach out to her? I did. I have not talked to her last week. This past week I was working. I really thought she was gonna call me. I was gonna call her, but I didn't know if either she's too busy or she forgot about it, whatever. Uh, Carol and I talked about an hour. Actually, I looked at her on the phone now. My wife was, the daycare kids were leaving. It was an afternoon. I talked to her for 59 minutes and 53 seconds. All about that situation, because I was just reaching out to people to hear other things. Guys, let me tell you. Was I wrong on a lot of things? Yes. Was I wrong for not lambasting and earning more? Yes. Part of that in the back of my mind was, forget about Mayor. He's family. My families and their friends, a lot of the inner circle were friends. Did I want it to go away? Yes. When it was sent to me, did I see it driving from City Hall to Applebee's? Not positive. Did I see it when it vibrated on my hip at that table, drinking a beer, and him sitting there or not sitting there? I'm not positive. Did I not see it? But I will tell you the honest truth, I'm human. If I did, in fact, and y'all could probably pop up now and say, Mr. Mayor, we know for a fact you did, and I would believe you. But I am telling you, because it's scared to me. I'm scared, not because I know I did wrong, because I know if I did wrong, if anything I've done wrong, it's because I, as mayor of the city, maybe did not do the right, correct thing in the political format. Am I clean to a T about that picture? Oh yes, without no doubt. You're asking me, did I send that text out to anybody? I would tell you 99.9% certainty, I am almost positive I didn't. Did I, for some crazy reason, and I'm telling you, my head's a cloud, did someone say, hey, can you send that picture to me? I am not 100% positively certain I did.
So you can't say if you sent it to somebody else.
I would tell you that I would tell you, no, I didn't send it. I cannot, if you brought me in another court and you asked me that question and I said, no, I didn't, and then you showed me proof, I did,
well,
I would say, I'm sorry, because I just did not remember.
So if you did send a picture to somebody else, then that would mean that you condoned what happened, right? Them taking the picture. Because if you didn't condone it, you wouldn't pass it, or you wouldn't have kept it and looked at it. If you didn't condone it,
I didn't look back at it. Again, you can believe that part or not. I can tell you the reason I kept it again.
But I mean, I understand that. But so
if someone had asked me, let's just say, if it was someone, and again,
I mean, it's just a simple yes. If someone asked you to send it to them, you sent it to them, then that would mean you condoned it.
I will tell you this: if someone asked me to send it to them and let them see it, it would have had to been somebody that was so close to me, and I said, "Hey, by God, I'm gonna show you this right here." But this was sick that Ernie did. But please, and you know how it goes. I say, you want to see something that.
So with that, Mayor,
that's right. But I would say no, I didn't send it.
It's a simple yes.
No, I didn't send it. You would have to show. You would have to prove me. You would have to positively, and I would be embarrassed to the fact that I know I did. It would have had to been somebody so close to me who knew Ernie and couldn't believe he did to send that to him. It damn sure wouldn't have been nobody like Steely, who I consider at the most an acquaintance.
I wouldn't expect you to say.
Yeah. So if after all of this, and you say, now, Mr. Mayor, let me show you, we've got proof you said it. I say, man, guys, I'm sorry. I just didn't. I don't remember. I will think that my integrity and my mentality is, if it would have had to been someone like my brother-in-law, maybe, who knows Ernie very well, or someone like that.
But you said you and your brother-in-law talked about it, right?
No, I don't think I've talked to my brother-in-law about that. Here again, if we did, if he asked me, again, I thought to myself, if we did, it was in the inner circle of people. I'm saying, Debbie will never see this. Let's just let this go away. Let's just let this go away. Let it be done with. let it be just like everything else in Point, like the ice bucket challenge, when it's in the past. Nobody even thinks about it anymore. But at the time, when it hit the airwaves, they were coming up to the podium asking me to ask him to resign. And this was the same way. I was saying, if we talk, but I mean, and I don't know if my brother-in-law asked me or not. I really don't, because if you know Ernie, well, y'all don't, but we know that's how he is. His mind is corrupted, and this is why this is what pisses me off. Whether you're all religious or Christians or not, and let me tell you what, I'm gonna leave here and go get me a cold beer. I'll never be a deacon in the Baptist church for 2 reasons. I got a temper and I drink beer, and in the Southern Baptist religion, you ain't supposed to be doing stuff like that. But I'll be the usher in the morning time, collecting money up, because I'll do anything I can for that church. But I dang sure got a lot of faults.
Well, everybody.
And I got plenty of faults to the point where my Christian. But here, let me tell you what the difference between me and him is. That man has been a deacon in my church. I've watched him drink as a deacon in our church. I've watched him laugh at dirty jokes. I've listened to him tell dirty jokes. And yes, I just laugh it off because it's part of the crowd. But in my mind, in my heart, and that's why my wife does not like him too much now, is because she is a religious person to the point, and she's no saint either, but she does not like the way he's somebody on Sunday morning. He's one that's got a good voice. He sings. He sings solos in our church, or used to. And everybody in the church thinks he's God Almighty. And he goes outside and does this stuff. So you can't, to me, that's a sick individual that he shares. And part of him, he was part of the breakup, because he was the first conversation with Steve, our pastor, who's just left. He was the first conversation because of that ice bucket challenge and all that. And Steve asked him to resign from some of his duties in the church, and Ernie didn't. And that's where a lot of that started. And then the whole choir thing, whatever. So he is, again, if it had been Judd or Mr. Herron sitting there, Mr. Herron is the pianist in our choir. But he's got his faults too, in our church. I don't think Mr. Herron's smart enough to take that picture or know how to do this. So I'm almost positive Mr. Herron did it, because most of the time, more times than not, Mr. Herron sits somewhere right over here, right up in here.
He sits in front of everybody.
Yeah, he sits over here. He sits over to the side over here more time. Every once in a while, he's popped over here in my recollection. But what I recollect more so than 90% of the time, Judd and Ernie always migrated over here. You know, you got a pattern.
Yeah, and that's what everybody generally go to around the people that they know are going to vote the way they're going to vote.
Well, I don't know, because in executive session we don't vote. You can't vote in executive session.
Yeah, but you still go around people you like. You don't.
Yeah.
If me and I don't like each other, we're not going to sit next to each other.
Oh yeah, because at the time, that's why Debbie sat back here, because if you remember, now she's got a little bit quote. Now see, they still, now we talking about political terms. I have the power, but I don't use it that way. But if it was right now in our divisive council, it's 3-3. So if the mayor votes, I can still get what I want. But see, at the time when this was allegedly taken, and whenever it was, she sat back here. Miss Powers, Judd, Ernie, Bill, and Mr. Holbrook. So she was basically on an island. She was 5 versus 1.
Okay.
So most times she'd sit back here. Now, how she ended up over here, I just cannot picture it. You could go back. I'd be more welcome to meet y'all in there Monday and show you. We could go back and look at how it was taken like this. I can't picture it.
Okay, so we can close this out, and we can initially say a couple of things. One is that Stanhope took the picture. 2, you got the picture, you saw it, you kept it, and you kept it because you didn't want to get anybody to say that you sent the picture or took it, right?
Exactly.
3 is that all of this right here came about, and no matter what happened, y'all passed it around each other, y'all looked at it, laughed about it.
Again,
continue.
Well,
okay.
correct. We didn't laugh about it. I did. I would not have laughed about it.
And
I might have said some stupid stuff. I might have said, "Good God," or whatever. This is just what men do. Now,
So, so in other words, basically, the whole inner circle, virtually almost everybody that you're in a circle with on the council has talked about it. Y'all have had, I'm quite sure y'all have had conversations about this.
I have not. You know what? I talked to Mr. Claxton yesterday. That's a good point. I don't remember me talking to Mr. Holbrook or maybe Mr. Heron. I know me and Mr. Bowers, because he's my very, very close confidant. And I know me and Judd and me and Claxton, and I don't know if I actually spoke to Matt on it. It was very, look here, I would have probably mentioned to Miriam, but Miriam will very quickly don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I don't think me and Mr. Holbrook, even though I supported him last November, because I knew what I had out of him, and I didn't want the guy that Fred was running. And we had come to terms a little bit, but then again, if you remember, I'm the one that defeated him.
Yeah,
in terms
Mr.
of
Mayor, we're trying.
You're getting it out. You're asking me. You're asking me that I had conversation on the council. I'm trying to tell you no.
Oh, that's good. Okay, and another thing, we can
I'm
also
not sure
establish
about
that the picture was taken way before it ever came out. Everybody knew about this picture before it ever got publicized by Mr. Staley.
Sure. Had to
Okay.
have with Mr. Stand-Up taking it.
Okay.
Had to been before November. Sometime. It had to be
Before November.
sometime before January.
Okay.
Or yeah, January 20.
December 31st. His last. Go back and look at it. Whatever the last Thursday in December. Third. If it's the fourth Thursday, it's Christmas.
Gotcha.
The last council meeting in December.
Okay. Gotcha.
Whether it's the third or the fourth, based on Christmas, we move them.
Right.
It had to happen
Prior to.
prior to January the 1st. And if it was, again, Ms. Johnson truly believes, based on film clips and her hairdo and her picture, that it was during the executive session,
You don't have anything to contradict it.
I have no reason to believe that she's not telling the truth.
Okay.
But could we say for all certainty that it was not in a workshop? Because at the end of the day, they still come in, and usually, and remember, now workshops, and you're right, people go sit where they're comfortable. And we have a door back here that comes in from the outside. So, and by law, we have to leave our doors open for workshops. So this door stays open during workshops because it's public meeting. But when we see people coming to this door, there's somebody, usually Miriam, will go let them in. And most of the people will sit all back here. And it's still the council people will sit in the front.
Gotcha.
So whether it was a workshop or an executive session, unless I make them, I'll tell you, the very few times I may tell Miriam I want everybody to sit in a circle to get her. I want everybody good, because sometimes we so spread out. Then when you spread out, including her and including Ernie, I've called them over there, playing with their phones and looking at text messengers or whatever they're doing besides paying attention to what we're talking about. And so sometimes I'll make Miriam on purpose to come in and put the table together and direct all of them to sit together, which they don't like, but I choose to do it that way. And here again, they get pissed with me sometimes, but.
So we can, like I said, everything we've talked about, you're confirming about the picture. You had the picture before it was ever publicized. You knew about the picture. You kept the picture. You knew that Stan Holt took the picture. You knew that it wasn't a problem until it became an issue, and everybody else, it was passed around between the rest of them. Everybody got a chance to see within inner circles and stuff. Can we concur to that?
We concur to that, and
And
my
that's-
statement would be, you're exactly everything you said is correct. Did I want it to go away when it was in that little group? Who actually saw it? I cannot swear if I could not tell you. Mr. Claxton says he didn't. He is the only
Gotcha.
person, and I'm not even sure if Judd has told me that. I've not talked to Judd much a while, but Mr. Claxton said he has not seen the picture. And that's what keeps me going back. And I'm truthful with you guys. If Mr. Claxton didn't see the picture, and I have no reason to believe, I don't know if he saw you there or not. He says he's not seen the picture, so I'm assuming, because Claxton will tell you the damn truth. He's going to tell you what he thinks. Because he ain't going to, like he said, we both made that decision early on, so we ain't going to jail, or we ain't going
Gotcha.
we ain't going for nothing. this is what makes me, in my mind, and it's cloudy. And here again, guys, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of scare. I've never had to go through this in my life. I've never had to do this anything. My life's been a good, clean life for the most part. When Mr. Claxton says he has not seen the picture, makes me think that we did not see it at Applebee's, because if he did not see the picture, it's hard for me to fathom that we sitting there at two tables we pushed together, 6 or 7 of us.
Top tables.
If you've been in the Garden City Applebee's, I always sit on the couch seat because I want to see the ball game. There's usually a ball game on TV, usually football or Braves or something. So I always sit on there. They'll come in at different times. And guys, let me tell you, we're all human. We've made mistakes. We're embarrassed about certain things. But if he says that he's not, and he's telling the truth, and let me tell you, I could never go call him up and drink a beer to go watch the Braves or ball game because he don't know about baseball. Politically, he's a guru. But for us to sit here and say, if he says he did not seen that picture, it's hard for me to fathom of us sitting in that small square that if I saw it, I would not have shared it again. And that's why I've always thought back when he said he's not seen it. And I think that's why I'm not positively sure if I saw it then, and then later on when I was a stand up. But see, let me tell you, it was it's a black eye to this city, and I knew if it got out, it would be an embarrassment. We've already went through some embarrassment with our city with other council people. Hogan getting in front of the damn stage on the Republican thing out there with Jack Kingston and them, and telling some woman who was yelling at his ass, "Your ass ought to be aborted," wearing a Wentworth council tag, shit like that I've had to go through. That we had to remove him up, he removed himself because other stuff that he found out he was going under other names and had all kind of criminal elements on him. I went through a lot of stuff. All I went through, this is the worst. This is the worst. I saw it. The inner people who saw it. Even if Galtwalt saw it, Judge saw it, Philip saw it, Pavlis saw it, Miriam, she don't come. If whoever would have been there would have saw it, still didn't make it right. And when you see it and you gawk at it at first, oh God, that's nasty. Why? That's nasty. Did I say something to Ernie then, or did I say something to Ernie later, or did he laugh? I can see that giggle laugh, and I said, my God. And I knew it was under the political realm of thing of us going up, that we knew we was gonna have a fight on our battle. Cause sure, I want my job to be easy. My job ain't easy now when I got 3 people and 3 people, and I've got a lot of. So I damn sure didn't need this, but would I ever want that picture to get out? Because now, this is why I really think it was a vendetta against her personally, because of all this stuff's been going on between him and Facebook. If Ernie would have thought he was going to do it politically, why would he have not let that out earlier before the elections to shut down Fred Williams' people? Because
or hang on to it until next year when she's up for re-election.
Or see, he would not have no reason. Let me tell you what the rumor is he's had. And this is the only rumor, I cannot validate that. Even my sister Gay said she's not heard it. But, so it's got to be rumored. But the rumor is he's even said some bad things about me because he thinks I should be on board of hating the black person or hating Fred Williams. As I told you earlier, my grandson's grandfather is Fred's brother. When my mother turned 60 years old, years back when Fred lived in Haversham Woods, my sister, my younger sister, who was married to a military officer, lived in Alaska. My sister flew in for my mother's birthday party. We used Fred's house. Fred's daughter, Stacy, knew. I don't know if you made a name because she's big in the fitness guru, downtown athletic club. We used to be on that. My sister Joey and Stacy are best friends. That's how we are with Fred. Personally, I know Fred pretty good politically. All home builders don't get along with city people. I would not have nobody running for mayor. This city would be clean if I would have fired Mr. Claxton per Fred Williams. Fred wanted me to fire Claxton. I wouldn't do it. Fred supported me my first time against Holbrook. So all that being said, it's always been, and anybody who knows me, you go ask anybody in this America, I can be called a lot of things, but racist ain't one of them. I threw a flag, and I went over there. I can't even use the word, and I'm gonna be blunt with you in business. I can't use the word nigger. But last night in the football game for South Effingham, I walked over there and I said, number 5 for South Effingham was, they was all hyped up, and he just started blasting that word out to the Groves player over him. I threw a flag on him. Scrimmage game, I didn't have to. These kids got to learn. Coach, I walked over and he says, he knows me. He said, "Pig, what did he say?" I said, "Coach, you ask him. He'll tell you the truth. I'm telling you, he used the N-word plenty of times." When people in my scenario, and we all know it goes on even in Wentworth, all over this country, I have people today that will tell me, "Don't do that for them bunch of blacks up there. They ain't, this or that." Let me tell you what. I love my children, my kids. You asked me yesterday, do I referee recreation ball? Only if they ask me, because I don't need that $150 on my Saturday. I'd rather watch my kids. You can go on my Facebook. I have these little kids that ask me to be their friends on Facebook. I'm not a big proponent of parents letting their kids be on Facebook, but if they are, my little kids on them, I go to school as a business partner in my schools. It brings joy in my eyes when that little kid comes up to me and says, "Mr. Mayor," or "Mr. Pig," or "Mayor Pig," or whatever they say. It brings my joy to my eyes to help people. And when friends of mine, when they tell me, "Man, don't do nothing, a bunch of Section 8, all them Section 8 houses in Newport." We know what's going on in there. We know it's the people who are getting by whatever we can. And they'll say, "Don't worry about Newport, whatever. It's my duty to do what I can. If I made mistakes, yes, that was one. This right here is one of them. Could I have said, but even if, here's where at the end of the day, why I didn't. It was family and my friends who were friends with him, and I just wanted it to go away. Because it would have gone away, and it did go away forever how long ago it was taken. I'll preface that by telling you, I really think, after thinking about it last night, I think it probably got taken place sometime in the summertime, maybe, because near the end, hell, he even missed, I think, a couple of council meetings. He just kind of didn't workshops. He didn't come to workshops. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted it to go away because it was, even if it was, like I said earlier, even if it was at that table and all my people saw it, I can't vouch for that. But even if they all saw it, they're part of the political stream too, because they know if I don't run for mayor and say she ran for mayor, a lot of people are going to probably get removed. So guess what? Gottwald, he ain't stupid. He wants me to be the mayor. Matt Libby, he ain't stupid. He wants to be the mayor. He wants me to be the mayor. Claxton, same way. So they damn sure ain't going to say nothing. And they want it just to go away. And
so
I
did
want
everybody know about it?
I just don't know. It makes me.
Did you discuss this? What you say you discussed? You discussed it with Chief Libby then?
I don't know if I ever talked to Matt or not.
Did you ever talk to him? You said, okay, how about your city manager?
Me and Phillips talked about it.
And
we talked about it yesterday.
Your county manager.
Well, that's the same county manager. No,
I'm sorry. Y'all have a
city administrator. That's Mr.
attorney, county attorney.
If only time I would have talked to him, like I said, because once the initial reaction was there, it went away. It really did. The initial reaction, in my point of it. So if Eric was not there, I would have not I know I did not in an official capacity call up Eric Gottwald and say, "I want to talk to you about this picture." Okay. In an official capacity. That's what you're asking me about, official capacity. Did I do wrong? Yes. Did Eric sit there? Because I cannot fathom, and I swear to God, that if I saw it in Applebee's, I said, "Oh my gosh," and I would, Phillips sits always across. I said, "God, y'all see this?" I cannot fathom just reality. I cannot believe that if I saw it while I was there, that I would not have shown my inner circle.
Okay.
And that is the truth.
So you either caught it on the way there or saw it when you got home that night or whatever the case was.
Very
what you
soon after,
believe.
unless he sent it to me the next day.
Right.
And then if he would have sent it to me the next day, I am pretty much sure. Let me tell you, and I don't even go. This is why I know positively. When I first become mayor, I wanted to be involved. I'd always go down there to the with Jimmy Melvin them at the police station and go around and drink coffee when I was off work a lot. They still do that. Some of them people. I choose not to go over there. I have some issues with my city manager when some of my department heads and some of my people there. They go over there, but Mr. Claxton's their boss, and he chooses. We have one council person that goes over there, Mr. Herron. I choose not to. So, and that's been years back. Everyone, if I go over there now, it's usually on official business. If I got to go talk to Matt, or if I got to go over there and for what I might reasonably go over there for. But it's not just to go around and sit there and drink coffee. If I do that, it's maybe once, twice a year. So that being said, if that would have happened 3 or 4 years ago, the next morning I would have been there and that would have been the topic of conversation. The next morning, if you've interviewed Mr. Herron, and I would never ask you, and I know you wouldn't tell me anyway. I don't even know if you've interviewed Mr. Herron. All I know for sure, I think y'all have interviewed Mr. Claxton and Miriam. That's what and you told me you've talked to Debbie. So I don't know who else you've interviewed. Well, yeah, Steely, I think he blabbered mouth that he was. So I don't know if they went in there to the morning coffee shop and talked about it. And if that's the case, and if Matt knows, I cannot swear with all certainty that I've spoken to Matt about it. And if we did, and if you know Matt like I know Matt, Matt's going through a lot of tough things with his wife right now. But at the time when it happened, Matt would have said, that's just down blame. I can hear Matt Levy saying, that's just downright gross. I might not appreciate her, because there's been some things going on in our police and her family that's happened. I think we got her son pretty good about something, and she's kind of interfered with some of our roadblocks. Our last roadblock, you know how you will have roadblocks going into the subdivision. She's went down there the last one, and she's kind of interfered with some things. So she's not a big police favorite. So it only, and y'all know in police force, you want to get yourself patted on the back more than you getting slapped, because most police officers now and the public enforcement are getting ridiculed. And so they take offense to that. So I can hear Matt probably not saying kind words to her, but that's just, he would never. I know Chief Libby to a T. Chief Libby respects her as much as I respect her, because she's a council person. Might not respect her as a person, and sometimes, and y'all even know in y'all's inner circle, what you get aggravated because you think that St. Lawrence or Welcher or whoever else trying to go get something from the sheriff department and the county commissioners don't give it to you. Then what's your initial reaction? They don't know what goes on down here. They don't know we need more people working in jail. They don't know we need all that. So that's an initial reaction from employees to people. But I can't for a phantom that Matt, and I know he would go out and publicly slander her. I know Mr. Claxton wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. And it's a shame, but I'm not surprised that Ernie stand up yet. And that's the God honest truth. I have told you everything with my power, knowledge, that I can remember how it went down. I told you again, if Mr. Claxton told me, he told y'all, he says he's not seen that picture, it just cannot. I trust Mr. Claxton with everything in government. I go to him for everything. I mean, I've learned a lot in government now, but there's always something new. I cannot phantom 1 minute to believe if I got that picture, or I saw that picture at Applebee's,
that you wouldn't have showed it to him.
I did not show it to him.
Okay. Well, is there anything?
And then here again, or showed it to
Anyone else sitting here with you?
anybody else, except short of, well, let me say this. You said you work with chick cops.
Right.
Elizabeth,
it would have been like, hey, let me see what you got.
I wouldn't have showed it. I wouldn't have. Now, if it passed around or whatever, and she, well, let me see it, I would have probably gave it to her. But that's just me. I respect women to the nth degree.
Who is she? You know,
That's Elizabeth Palace. She's my
Attorney.
other attorney.
Oh, okay.
She works with the, with our, Eric's been with me for 11 years, my whole time. He was mayor, he was our city attorney before I was here. So he's been with us for quite a while. I'm not sure how long, but he's been my whole 11 years. We brought, the firm brought her on 4 or 5 years ago. And then, so now what it is, it's a rotating basis. They both work with us. Mr. Claxton, if I give him the okay, and that's another hard part. You know, friends are friends. You know, even in government, you know, it's hard to, he's a friend. I mean, he's a friend. She's a friend, but not as much. He's been with me my whole time. I asked him to swear me in one time. You know, he's a friend. It's hard for me. They call me Mr. Goodheart. I'm too nice to people, and I just want stuff to go away when it hurts people's feelings. If I could have easily went and said, Debbie, look what Stanhope did, and blah 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 blah. But then it would have been it'd been what it is now. I just wanted it to go away, and it would have went away if his idiot, if he did, because I don't know he sent it. That's for damn sure certainty. I don't know how Steely got it. Now Steely put off some crop of bullshit that said it wasn't taken at a council meeting and it was not given to him by a council person.
Well, man, something.
How the hell that?
You brought up something, Eric. Why didn't you go and just tell her, listen, this is what's out here?
Because I wanted to go away. If the little people, look, I said it 100 times, a little people that saw it, that knew about it, he whatever, to my knowledge, unless he went out and sent it to 100, if 100 other people know about it, I have no clue if they know about it.
Yeah, but what don't you think as mayor, and that being one of
I've
your
already
city
told you
council,
that I have to do it if I had to do it over again. Possibility, but again, it was taken by a dumbass. I just wanted, if it's going to be whoever saw it, what, and let's say, even in the political realm, they see it, it goes away. No harm, no foul. We know Stanhope ain't gonna be with us in January. Have a happy, my situation, I was hoping it was gonna be Holbrook and whoever the other person that lost, but it didn't work out that way. There was another gentleman in Lakeshore that I guess I tried to support, but I didn't too much because he was about as trustworthy, I believe. I didn't know him. He was just kind of sided with Holbrook running against Fred's people. It'd have made my life easier if Debbie would have been on that island 5 versus 1. But it's 3 versus 3, so I deal with it, and I respect every one of them with integrity. But when it was, you ask again, I say yes, I could have. I could have blown it out then. Stupid people do stupid things. Ernie Stanhope, because of this, it's hard for him to be my friend. But his family, his daughter, he has interracial step-grandkids. And that's another shocking thing to me. He has interracial step-grandkids. Actually, one's a pretty good athlete that plays on Palmetto. One just graduated from Groves. His stepdaughter, Cheryl, who works for me, is married to a black guy who is a very good friend of mine. His daughter I watched grow up in the Baptist Church as a baby. His daughter and my niece are very close, tied at the hip, family-wise. So you see where I've been at with this, not wanting to, I just wanted it to go away. It goes a lot deeper than a picture about him taking a picture of Debbie. As mayor of that city, it ain't, sometimes I've said this, your family, your job, and your city. Yes, I put that city way over here on this instance. Because my family and my friendship, which not so much friends, but it's family. Again, his stepdaughter, his step-grandson, who is very, I would have lost all that if I'd have broke all that out. I'd have had hatred to me if I would have been one. Because you know what they would have said in the political world? Oh, no one would have known, you just kept that quiet. I chose to keep it quiet because I knew it would probably go away. And it did go away until his dumbass or somebody's dumbass gave it to Steely, who nobody really knows. Again, I'll tell you, Steely's at the most an acquaintance. I saw him yesterday when he comes out and said, "I want to pay a water bill," and he wants, he wants to run his mouth, and I tell him, I said, well, whatever you say, you can do whatever. I said, but let me tell you what, if I go to the press or whatever, I'm gonna tell what I know, and exactly why. And he knows that, and if he says anything else, he's a friggin' liar, because I met him because I told y'all yesterday how I met him, and then when he asked me to be on that Facebook page to ask questions about the political forums, no one ever asked me a question I never answered, and then she lied to Mal originally by saying that I liked that picture. And then she recounted back on that, because that's a damn sure lie. I mean, I like picture. If you my Facebook friend and your son's out there playing ball, you say something nice, I'm gonna like that. Give the kids a thumb up. That's for damn sure I wouldn't like that picture. That's the I would tell her to in the face and lie and tell you you're a liar, because she didn't deserve that. But I just wanted it to go away.
Okay.
I just wanted it to go away.
Well,
And guys,
you got anything?
I hope I know, I hope that trust got a little closer, but I think that I'm just telling you.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it is what it is. We only, like I said, we're only fact finders.
Yep.
We'll just report with what we got.
And again, we appreciate you, reaching out to us yesterday evening and volunteering to come in again today.
And let me tell you again, you may not believe this, but it had nothing to do with Matt calling me and putting the pressure on me because of Billy Freeman.
Oh no,
I
never thought that.
I knew, and I think you told me that you knew that I was, and that's why I asked you for your card.
I figured we'd be hearing from you again, yes, after we talked.
Yeah, well, I knew I was. My wife really kind of blasted me by saying, "Why didn't you tell him then?"
And that's what wives do.
Well,
They keep us straight.
and look here, I appreciate y'all, because on Saturday afternoon, hey, you ain't gonna go fix that gate today, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm building a whole new one. I'm taking down about 8 foot of fence, put up a 4-foot gate, dropping a post.
Man, you better go out there and check that heat.
I'm good.
All right, appreciate what you do.
All right, so you have a good one.